Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. The XRP ETF numbers are in. You're going to like what we've got for you. Ripple CEO and the Clarity Act. Oh my goodness, wait till you get it. The Digital Chamber talk the market infrastructure bill and digital asset bonds, ladies and gentlemen. Where have you heard that before? And XRP to pay your taxes? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Very quickly, before we get started, I want to shout out a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine in our family who is in a movie called Sarah's Oil. Now, I won't say exactly who it is for their protection and anonymity, but I'll tell you what, my wife and I went and saw this movie last weekend. It is amazing. If you're looking for a great movie to go check out, it's Sarah's Oil. Go give it a watch because you're going to love it. Let's start right here. The market is $3.07 trillion. We're up 1.8%. Bitcoin 87,000 plus. Ethereum 2,900. And XRP is $2.21 this morning. We're up 6.1 on the 24 and 1.3 on the 7-day. The market's starting to crawl back to where we want to see it. But remember, there's still $1 trillion or so, or almost $1 trillion missing from this crypto market right now. So, we'll see what comes of it. But nonetheless, ranging between 207 and 229, we're sitting at 223. XRP seemed to turn around off the floor with the launch of the Grayscale and the Franklin Templeton ETFs yesterday. We'll get into the numbers. I think you're going to like them. And here is a reminder. Look at this. A thief posing as a delivery driver ties up homeowner and steals $11 million in crypto. Now, see, that's a problem. And if you had been at Caleb and Brown, it wouldn't have happened to you because Caleb and Brown has a prime brokerage where you have 24/7, 365 access to your prime broker. There's multiple layers of security, and you can make special restrictions on top of the two-factor and multiple layers of security. Every time you do a transaction, they make you verify it. I love it. And you could add the special restriction. Hey, by the way, I don't want to do any transactions unless I do a Zoom call proving I'm alive and not under duress. You see, this is the kind of level of protection and security I'm looking for. So I don't have to wonder. I don't have a way to access my crypto directly. It takes me a while. I have to plan on it. I can't just do it from in my home. Like that to me is the safest level of protection for me. And I'm a long-term investor. I'm not a trader. So I don't need access to my account every second of every day. I don't need that. It's different for everybody. If you're a day trader, that's not the situation. But nonetheless, it's Caleb and Brown right here, ladies and gentlemen. Go to xrpwealth589.com and start getting free institutional grade custody and the 24-hour customer service that you deserve. That's the truth. Galaxy Digital CEO told CNBC that Bitcoin will replace gold and go to $1 million. Take a quick listen from Mike Novogratz.
Bitcoin, they're theoretically going to mine 21 million of them, right, Mike? And in your company, Galaxy Digital, by the way, I think one thing people get wrong a lot on my side of the camera is that you're also a power company. You've got Helios out in Texas, going to grow that as well. It's part of the whole story. You got to make the power. Is there a bull case for not finding any more Bitcoin? I know it probably will be found, but if more of something is bad...
No, there's no more Bitcoin. Like what's unique about Bitcoin as an asset is it was created with 21 million coins total. Period, end of story. There'll never be more than that.
But not all those have been mined, is my point.
Most of them, lots of them have been lost. There have been more Bitcoin lost than will be mined for the rest of eternity. And so you've got this idea of a fixed supply of something, and more people are being brought into the Bitcoin tent. More and more people are realizing this is a story that they want to care about. And so once Larry Fink said BlackRock's getting behind this, right? All that pushing the snowball uphill, that started rolling downhill. And now we've got all these treasury companies buying Bitcoin. We've got sovereign wealths buying Bitcoin. We've got retail investors buying Bitcoin. There's easier ways to get it. And so the adoption of Bitcoin as a macro asset, as an asset to save money in, I think that's now a ball rolling downhill. And
Look, to his point, I think all of those signals are relevant. But as I say, listen, it's the Bitcoin strategic reserve for me. If that gets passed and signed into law that we're getting a Bitcoin strategic reserve, well, then, obviously you're going to get the idea that the Bitcoin's going to be around for the duration. And it will be clear to me that the strategic reserve is to help gather Bitcoin so they can help offset the debt of the United States. Here's another signal. Eric Trump, the President Trump's son.
Hey friends, Eric Trump. Welcome to American Bitcoin. It's a little sneak peek of our facility in Texas using American energy to mine Bitcoin right here on American soil. We could not be more proud of this facility. 35,000 of these servers right here, all liquid cooled, securing the network, mining Bitcoin. Every single day we mine about 2% of the world's Bitcoin supply, and we safeguard it every single day. So when people say that cryptocurrency is intangible, it's not. It's very tangible. And this right here, guys, is living proof. Take a look at.
There you have it right there. Eric Trump showing off his Bitcoin mining operation may be the greatest signal that Bitcoin isn't going anywhere anytime soon. For clarity, XRP Ledger doesn't need any of this to operate. Sorry, but it's true, right? But again, these different protocols have different roles. And if Bitcoin does find itself elected for a strategic reserve, well, then it is clear to me that it is a U.S. government asset created by a three-letter agency in the U.S. And it is clear to me that it is created to offset the U.S. debt. So that's where we're at. And if they adopt it inside a U.S. strategic reserve without caring who Satoshi is, it's because I believe they already know. Let's take a look at the ETFs here for XRP. They're on fire. In just 24 hours, the 4 XRP ETFs pulled a massive 164 million plus in net inflows. Grayscale took in 67.36 million. Franklin Templeton took in 62.59. Bitwise took in 17.1, and Canary took in 16.38. This isn't retail. This is big money positioning early. That's exactly what it feels like. There's no question it's what it feels like. Let's keep going. If you're looking here from Coin Bureau, this had to break their heart. Bitcoin, Ethereum camp. XRP just beat Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana in ETF inflows. You know who else has had a hard time sharing that with you? I haven't seen James Seifert say it once. Shout out to you, James. I can't help but break your balls. You're the one that said XRP was a shit coin on stage at Bitcoin Las Vegas. So there it is. And it's no wonder he's not talking about the fact that XRP outpaced all of those other ETFs. Isn't that something? Grayscale Franklin Templeton's new XRP ETFs alone pulled in 67.4 and 62.6 on its debut. How about that? Shout out to both of them. Let's keep going. And here we know the CEO of Franklin Templeton is Jenny Johnson. Now, Franklin Templeton as an organization, 1.7 trillion asset manager and assets under management, says XRP plays a foundational role in global settlement infrastructure. It was actually David Mann from Franklin Templeton that said it, not the CEO, Jenny Johnson, but she's super smart, and we'll get to her in the next video. Ripple doesn't compete with banks. It connects them. BIS, World Bank, U.S. Treasury, central banks. The table is set. The liquid token, XRP. I do believe ultimately this is the role for XRP. And I do believe ultimately when we get the foundational infrastructure, we'll see that begin to start to pan out. So for instance, I don't expect it to be declared the day after the market infrastructure bill passes and signed into law. What I expect is a natural graduation, right, and maturation of adoption. Over time, it will grow into this role. It has to prove out as a payment token at scale. It has certainly proved out as a payment token with the 70 billion plus that was done on a ledger just a couple years ago in payments. Now it needs to prove out as a payment token in scale. And as it becomes more important and gets deeper and deeper liquidity and more utility on the network, it can grow from the payment token to a full-on bridge asset for the world. That, I believe, is the natural order of how this could go. So we'll obviously need time to pass and see what the adoption does to see. But nonetheless, that's where I'm at with it. Now, moving on, we do need that market infrastructure bill. And Cardano's founder, Charles Hoskinson, says the crypto hardest working advocate for Clarity Act is, and you'll hear it right here.
I think the hardest working person on the Clarity Act was Brad. He was in DC pretty much every day, talking to people every day, eating with the president, doing all kinds of things. I keep running into him. I say, hey,
we're talking about Brad Garlinghouse, correct? For clarity.
Yes, that's correct. He's one of the hardest working guys.
There you have it from Charles Hoskinson right there. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, is one of the hardest working guys working with Congress and the President Trump on getting the Clarity Act done right for the industry. Makes sense to me. I'm not shocked. And this right here is the one and only Paul Barron, who's going to be at XRP Las Vegas. Did you get your tickets yet? Yeah, Paul Barron's going to be there with a media desk. Let me tell you who else is going to be there. Brad Garlinghouse, senatorial candidate John Deaton, ladies and gentlemen. Meta lawman, attorney James Murphy. And I got so many more that are coming back and so many new ones that you haven't even heard of yet. I'm telling you right now, you better get your ticket before they're gone. Let's listen to Paul Barron sit down with the one and only, the president of the Digital Chamber. It's Cody Carbone. Shout out to you, Cody. Take a listen. You're going to love this clip.
Signed 2 bills this year. So then, of course, you got the New York operations up there trying to allow state agencies to accept cryptocurrencies. So that would be something. Is this a growing thing at the state level? Can you share anything?
It's a movement. I think every state is sitting there and seeing there are benefits to digital assets, whether we issue municipal bonds backed by Bitcoin, like we saw in New Hampshire, or we issue licensing bills to provide clarity that the federal government is not providing right now to token issuers or to platforms. There is a growing interest at the state level to become hubs for digital asset companies. They are viewing this like it was the dot-com boom of the early 2000s, that every state in the country wanted to find a way to bring in talent that were helping develop and build the internet. We're seeing it now on the digital asset side. It is just the next wave, this Web3 wave. So I think this is just the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking next year and all 50 states have signed digital asset bills, especially as the federal government slow walks a lot of the regulatory progress that we want and that we are pushing for. We're seeing a lot from the agencies and the administration, but Congress is slow, as we just alluded to at the top of the conversation. I think every state's going to get involved. We just actually at the Digital Chamber launched the Digital State Network to be more active in the states. Our member companies that we represent are demanding it. They want to go into the state houses. They feel comfortable with what's going in Washington. They want to have conversation with governors, with state elected officials. And so we will be very active in all 50 states next year.
That is incredible news. And shout out to Cody and everybody at the Digital Chamber. This is exactly where crypto is going, as we have talked about here for quite some time now. Everybody's called me crazy. A new digital asset bond market. This will lead to the federal level as well. U.S. government adopting a U.S. digital asset bonds issuance that will allow the U.S. government to acquire the most important assets for the new digital on-chain economy without costing the U.S. taxpayer a dime. It's already happening. We have been proven right. New Hampshire's already done it, and they're not going to be the only ones to do it. This is why it's so important to come to XRP Las Vegas. We were talking about this a long time ago. I can't. Now, Cody Carbone says more U.S. states are preparing to allow tax payments in XRP and other crypto.
see this at the state level as
Yeah.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
we've already talked about the municipal bonds in New Hampshire. I think you're going to see more states start to replicate this. Can you pay your state and local taxes through Bitcoin, through XRP, through Ethereum? I think this is going to be, it's a
Gonna be
copycat government system. Well, it'll be huge.
There you have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. And I think we all remember that point on stage when Brad Garlinghouse was with Ross Rakow from the IMF. Let me see if I can find it for you. Remember this right here? Brad Garlinghouse sitting on stage with Ross Rakow is his name, IMF Deputy General Counsel at the time. Take a listen.
There's 2 votes.
Let me try.
Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? Oh, they're over here. That's easier. You want to take one? Go for it. The first one's for you. IMF. Do you see IMF holding crypto assets in the future? I did not put that up there.
Listen what he says. This is back in 2018.
Remember, I'm from the legal department. I'm supposed to be very conservative about these things. I don't want to go into great details about
Maybe
the
I
IMF.
should take what the IMF is going to do. I think we stunned Ross into silence with that one.
For that to happen, okay, under the current legal framework, some country would have to use a crypto asset as its currency.
And one of the ways to do that is to accept the crypto as tax payments. Let's take a look at the charts here. XRP broke resistance against Ethereum and will outperform over the next week, if not longer, says Crypto Bull 2020. We'll have to watch and see if that comes true, but that's what he's seeing on his Ethereum to XRP chart. And Egreg Crypto has the XRP chart here, and he's looking at this. And the truth about XRP macro targets, the chart still supports an exponential upside. The disbelief today is the identical to the disbelief in 23-24. History repeats, especially in exponential markets. And as he shows right here, you could see where the genuine wake-up line could be all the way down here, right? And you could see here that we could pump to or could hit 150, right, or 60 on the downside. Critical level target on the upside could be all the way up to 750. But, you know, again, I believe we need that fundamental news to see any of this become possible or even get close to being possible. So there we are for today, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going into the Freedom Zone. I hope you will join us. You could join us in the Freedom Zone. Just click the link underneath the video and join us inside for all your daily videos with 0 Google ads. It's worth the price of admission. And today we're going inside today and dig down a little further on when is enough money enough? And the 4% rule. We're going to look at that and we're going to start to reverse engineer that for all of us and give us at least the questions that we should start asking each other and ourselves. So I hope you will join us inside. Come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else.